Good evening. Welcome to a Thursday session of Cat Space. My name is Kat, and this is Buckets.
Hi.
My colleague Jose could not be joining us tonight. He's a bit unwell, but he will be back tomorrow to join us. So we are here again for a one-on-one duo of Cat Space. So tonight's topic we are talking about bullying and harassment. So first question is should bouncers be trained in customer service?
Oh, hell yes. How many times have you honestly met a bouncer and he's treated you rudely and there's literally nothing you can do about it? I've actually had many experiences with bouncers, and they're just trying to do their job. You know, you're just trying to have a good time.
Bless you.
Excuse me. And basically, yeah, you're just trying to have a good time. You're just they're just trying to do their job, and you know, you want to have some sort of relative, peace when you're in just at any bar or whatever. But things do get out of control sometimes, and that's when they need to step in. But I kind of found that what I did was I would talk to the bartender, actually the head bartender at the time, and I'd have an actual conversation with him or sometimes her. Um, that if you basically want to kick me out, you don't have to hurt me or push me or tug me or whatever. All you need to do is just tap me on the shoulder and just ask me to leave. And honestly, after that one conversation, I never ever had a problem with a security guard ever again. It got so good that even waved to me and say hi to me by name. But that's just an example of good customer service, which I think that all security guards should know and learn. And I don't think, honestly, with just if a security guard was to just push you around, that doesn't actually fix problems. In fact, it basically encourages people to get more violent and cause more problems. And it's the pub that suffers because you'll never go back there ever again.
I think for me, as a perspective, is yes, they should be trained in customer service because look, not all bouncers are bad bouncers or bad people. Most bouncers are there to do their job because they have to feed their families. It's an extra way of getting cash and security and longevity. But some bouncers don't understand the protocol of how you treat people. For example, if whether you're at a pub or a tavern or a club or wherever you are, nightclub, and bouncers are a bit rough around the edges and they don't know how to treat a customer service. I think it's important that the company that they're representing or they're working with should have a training package for them, should teach them manners and etiquette and how to treat people nicely and how to speak to people and what tone to use, that they're able to use that tone to be able to go, you know what, so, ma'am, I think you've had too much to drink, or you need to stay seated in your seat. Please sit down. But instead of coming across as aggressive, the company loses business this way. They lose people, they lose money, they lose, people who go to their venue on a weekly basis. So, yes, I think bouncers should get training in customer service. Next question is what is considered good customer service? And here's where I can tie in. I think it's a good smile, whether it's by face or eyes, voice, mannerism. Good customer service is warm, welcoming, very friendly, down to earth, relatable, empathetic, understanding, and kind. What do you think?
Yeah, but I think that a bouncer should at least give you a reason why you have to leave. They shouldn't just kick you out because they don't like you. That's that. They should just be saying, "Look, mate, we're going to have to kick you out because you've had too much to drink, but you're welcome to come back some other time. In like 24 hours time or whatever." And like I do kind of get the stresses that they have because if there could be a bar fight that might come out, but in saying that, I hate when a bouncer basically makes an assumption, based off no evidence whatsoever. So I come from a Chinese Cantonese background. I'm an Australian, so I'm an ABC Australian Chinese Cantonese background. And so I might have like one drink that's not enough to get me tipsy or whatever. But because I'm half Cantonese, um, my face will automatically get red, like automatically. And so they think I'm wasted. And I have this problem all the time. Um, and, it just got to the point where I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to have soft drink from now on, because every time I drink alcohol, I can't even enjoy an alcohol without some security guard wanting to kick me out.
Yes, but the question is, what is considered to be good customer service?
Well, I just kind of think that if they just basically just instead of making an assumption, they should literally just see basically what's going on in the bar. Okay. And if there is something that needs to be tended to, they could just basically pull someone aside or say, hey, how much you had to drink. Or just if there's someone needs to leave, said, sir, we're going to have to ask you to leave. Could you please leave now?
But do you think they should be kind and empathetic and warm and welcoming and relatable, down to earth, that sort of thing?
I wish they would be that way, but they also kind of need to make a stand as well, because that's why they're bouncers. Um, because if someone says no, screw that, I'm not leaving, what are you going to do about it, then they have to step in and actually um, forcefully make them leave. um, but I think there is a way of doing things that doesn't require violence.
Here's the next question that ties into what we're talking about is, does staff need to manhandle people in order to get customers to behave orderly? And I think the answer to that is no. They don't need to manhandle people. I think that they shouldn't be allowed to be rough and excessive and aggressive and sort of uptight and moody. I think being aggressive and mean and rude and sort of manhandling people goes to show that there is no etiquette in their workforce. There's no, sort of respect, and people lose respect for them and don't come back, and they feel violated and they feel upset. So no, there's no need to manhandle people in order to get customers to behave orderly.
I think when it comes to just um, asking someone to sit in a particular seat, say it's a COVID rule or whatever, no, they don't need to push someone down. They don't need to push them in the back. They don't need to grab them by the hand and push them down. They just need to ask them. I have seen circumstances where there have been guys that have literally been asked to leave, and they leave, and then they come in through the back entrance again 3 times. And basically I've seen that stuff happen, and then they have to basically go ahead and pin someone down because they're basically out of order. But I think you should at least give someone one warning first to say, sir, do you mind please sitting down? Because usually on the first warning, they pretty much get the message. Okay, there's no need for violence if they get just one warning, and if they go against the second warning, then it's time to take action. But I think one warning alone is basically enough to go, hey, we're keeping an eye on you. Please don't muck up. Please don't make us take action.
Next question. How much power should hotel staff actually have? I think they should have enough power, but not power to the point where their egos become so wild and so big that they think they're above the law or they're beyond anybody, that they have the right to say and do. I think they should have little power, but enough power, but not power enough to be egos and rude and ill-mannered and violent and sort of aggressive. Little power, but enough, just enough, like a smidgen. What do you think?
Yeah, I've seen guys being removed in Penrith, right? that basically they were misbehaving, and they finally got the message to say, hey, it's time for me to leave. But what they would do is they would basically put them in the middle of the street, stand on their hands, okay, and basically not let them leave. And and that's actually illegal because you can't actually, once they're off the property, that's it. They're off the property, they can't go back in. And I saw one instance of a guy practically begging the security, saying, hey, I'll never go back into your pub again, just let me go. You're standing on my hands, just let me go, let me go, let me go, please, please, please let me go. And they kept standing on that gentleman's hands until the police showed up. And he didn't have a weapon on him or anything. He was basically defeated. He couldn't go anywhere. He was surrounded by 5 security guards, and they were basically forcefully holding him down. He was in the middle of the street, and he was just basically begging for his life. And in my opinion, I think they took that too far, because once you're in the street, you're basically you're no longer out. You're no longer inside of the pub itself, and therefore you're no longer trespassing. So, and security are basically meant to back away. They're allowed to watch you from the street and stuff like that, but they're not really meant to intervene.
I completely agree. I think if someone's had too much to drink, I think hotel staff have the power to, once again, use initiative, be kind and empathetic, and say, listen, sir, ma'am, you've had a bit too much to drink. It's time that you go home. We can order you a cab or an Uber or just something. And they have the right to watch you, to make sure you're not going to start a fight, or, you're not, misbehaving. But I think enough power, but not too much, is what I'm trying to say about that one. Next question. How do we as customers handle rude and aggressive staff members?
Do you want to ask that again?
How do we as customers handle rude and aggressive staff members?
Well, you can report it to the manager and write a complaint, and hopefully it gets resolved. If the manager doesn't do anything, you can actually talk to the Department of Fair Trading. If that doesn't work, you can actually take it further and get an ombudsman. And I've heard of stories where basically, again, I'm not going to mention any names, where there was a friend of ours that felt that he was being treated unfairly due to the fact of the color of his skin. And he felt that he was treated differently because of the music that he wanted to play, and also the race that he ended up getting an ombudsman, and they really took it as high as they could get it, and that pub basically made no money until they got an apology out of it.
How to handle rude and aggressive staff members for me is to sort of speak to them, go up to them personally and take them aside and say, hey, I feel disrespected, I feel violated, and I'm really upset and hurt the fact that you're treating me this way and talking to me this way in a kind of tone. And if they keep getting aggressive, threatening to kick you out, the best thing you could do is go up to the manager, as Philip said, and complain, or go on their website or send an email privately and have the matter dealt with, and just say how you feel without being aggressive, just kind of a kind, sort of empathetic, understanding tone in the email. And again, like Philip said, if they don't take it further, then you can definitely take it higher and have the person fired or suspended from their job indefinitely. And hopefully that matter will work, but we don't want to get it to that point. But if you feel that's, to people who are rude and aggressive, that's the best way to go about it, I think.
What our friend actually did, though, he actually convinced all of his mates to basically order water, basically. I mean, you're talking about 40 mates here, not ordering beers, not ordering soft drinks, just getting water. And because of that, that pub made no money. Which just goes to show, karma is real.
Absolutely. Next question. How important is quality customer service to the customer or client? Ooh, I think it's very important that the quality of customer service is important, whether you're at a club or whether you're in a hotel, whether it's 2, 3, 4, 5, or however many stars. I think the quality versus quantity is very important because each hotel has different stuff, and it's very important that the quality and the service of what they're doing for you is important because they're the ones who will be speaking to you directly or you speak to them directly. So I think quality versus quantity, it has to be of high standards. It has to be out of respect and kindness. It has to be out of empathy. They have to be listen to you really well. They have to care for your needs and wants, whether it's at a club or at a hotel, like I said.
Well, like I had a friend of mine who used to work in the Marriott, and he told me that that extra star that hotels actually get first comes all the services that they provide, but that extra star actually comes down to customer service. And if the customer service is crap, they lose out on that star, which means it comes down completely down to the staff and their attitude. And if they're aggressive to you, whether it's a bartender that's aggressive to you, whether it's security that's an aggressive to you, that'll create a reputation, and that'll be a reason why people won't go to that pub. And Kat and I have been to plenty of terrible pubs that have terrible customer service, and we were just like, hey, the karaoke competition is awesome, but the customer service is absolutely terrible. Let's just not go there again. And we've had this happen a few times in multiple pubs before. But the pubs that you want to go to are the ones that actually take the time to actually make you feel special and make you feel that you are an important staff member.
Exactly.
Did I say staff member? Important client. There we go.
Exactly. I was going to ask this last question, but I think we've already tied into it. But I'll ask it just in case. Who do we complain to, or who do you complain to if you feel you have been mishandled? And I think we already brought this up, but we'll mention it again. Definitely go to a manager. Definitely send an email. Definitely speak to them directly. Be kind and empathetic and understanding about the whole thing. Go to a website, leave a comment, or inbox them privately, whether that's on Facebook or Instagram. Call up the venue. That's very important as well, to let them know how you feel.
Honestly, I'd like to say kind and empathetic, but to be perfectly honest, I would be as aggressive as possible in letter form, because if you're kind and empathetic to them the first time, what tends to happen is they brush you off. Whereas if you're aggressive and really, really uber pissed off, okay, they're going to listen to that because they're going to be like, okay, this guy's really, really upset. We better do something about it, kind of thing. Sometimes I've talked to managers and been really nice and empathetic and stuff like that. And 99% of the time they've actually listened to me and they've given me free drinks because of it and actually apologized. And that's really nice as well. But then there's others that just kind of completely ignore you, pretend you don't exist, delete your comments. And that's where you need to be a bit more aggressive so they get the message. Otherwise, they just ignore you like you don't exist.
Absolutely. Again, it's also important to call them. If they're not available via the website, just call them and ask to speak to the manager there, whoever's front of face. I think manager or someone above them legally. Just speak to them privately, kindly, and just give them sort of an understanding of how you feel. As Philip said, write a letter as well. An email is so good in this day and age, I think.
Like even the funny thing, actually, I find that emails work, but if you actually take the time to write a real letter with pen and paper and send it to them, okay, they are more likely to actually take it fully seriously, because they look at that as someone's actually taken the time to actually write this letter, so there must be something up.
But I don't think people use pen and paper anymore. I think it's more email.
You know what? You know what? My mum uses pen and paper sometimes when she's really, really, really upset. My brother will just probably just use email or something like that, or write in the comment center.
Yeah.
But if my mum's really pissed off, she will literally take out the pen and paper, write it up, and honestly, she will get a response, because people take letters seriously. And a lot of the time, emails, they can just be deleted straight away and forgotten about. So
I personally would send an email or send a message via inbox, or perhaps call them on you. Well, I think that's all we have time for today here on Cat Space. What do you think?
I think we do. So anyway, if you have any bright ideas,
don't forget to let us know in the comment section.
That's right. Don't forget to let us know. And if your idea is good enough, we'll give you a shout out and most likely a reward.
Down the line, yes.
Yes.
But don't forget to subscribe. So go to Cat Space and you'll see the word subscribe. Click on subscribe, press all, so you can get all the content and the podcast videos, and leave us a few comments.
And don't forget to ring that little bell at the side, so you can get continuous content.
Yeah, and tell your friends, invite your friends, and get them to be part of the family too. We'll see you guys tomorrow, back with Halsey here on Cat Space. Good night from the both of us.
Ciao.
Bye.